Hello, this is Paloma. I come back with the story the sky is telling for the next few days. Beautiful family, thank you for sharing space with me. There's a lot of talk about the subject that I want to address today, which is the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th of January, on the 9th degree of this, the school of consciousness that stewards the prayer of ancestors and the prayer of the future. We have a new moon. I don't know if you've noticed that we're having a series of new moons in the 9th degree within the 9 year that is 2025. I mean, this is numerology, but it calls my attention because 2025 has that sort of like dissolving, a culmination, an integration of so many experiences truly from previous eras, really. So we can truly enter into this regenerative and the rebirth of the energy of the earth, of the cosmos itself within who we are. These are very collective processes, so it takes time for them to like ground themselves into what we call reality, but we are there. That's where we are at in 2025. We are standing at the golden door of the universe with the potential of everything that has been and everything that could be at the same time, which is really exciting and a bit overwhelming and dizzying for moments because it's a very liminal space. We are getting continuous upgrades into our bodies. I don't just mean energetically, I mean physically. And we are working in the axis of health, which is Virgo Pisces, So there is this emphasis in understanding health from a more holistic point of view. I mean, health as something that encompasses all of our dimensions, and that it's not just the absence of sickness, but it is cultivating well-being, well-thinking, well-feeling, It's a completely new approach. We are going to be feeling, and maybe something will be calling our attention because it is out of balance in terms of our health in any dimension, so we can restore and move back into homeostasis. I don't know if that's in English, but I think so. And also this word that I've been writing about ever since I started feeling this Virgo Pisces energy, which is redemption. Redemption is really the liberation. What it feels like to me is like a liberation, a massive liberation of the memory of who we are, of our story, of our consciousness, and therefore our power. And this sounds really big, but it truly begins in the intimacy of our thoughts, our routines, our habits, our relationships. I imagine you felt the intensity of the sun joining with Pluto last week. I mean, I guess astrologically we know it's like, there's going to be, the shadow realm will be illuminated and material from our subconscious will emerge so we can integrate it. But the actual labor of it, going through it, is quite something else. And because we are going to be having so many moments of this kind of deep revelations and discoveries and unveiling of information, I invite us to approach it from deep compassion and patience, so we can integrate all of these that will rise and rise and rise into our awareness with equanimity, I would say. So I know January didn't feel at all like we started the new year because, we've been actually going over all the emotions and patterns and memories all through the masculine energy revision with Mars retrograde. And also sort of planning more into like what kind of structure or foundations do I want to give to this year, because we've been navigating the first lunation in Capricorn without Pluto there, so we're like kind of learning how to administrate and relate with time now, and precisely creating new structures, perhaps for just our businesses, our daily lives, our relationships. Well, let me tell you, from this week on and through February, we are going to feel a much more dynamic energy. I think we are going to feel that the year has finally begun. So we start the week with Mercury entering Aquarius, and then the next day on the 28th we'll join Pluto just like the sun did, and then the next day on the 29th we'll have the new moon in Aquarius. So this is all happening pretty much at the same time, which creates a stellium in the sky with Pluto, Mercury, the sun, the moon. There's Chariklo there as well. In Aquarius, it's intense energy, Aquarian revolutionary energy for this seed moment. So first, Mercury and Pluto, it's deep, profound thought, inquiry, investigation, of course, revelations, information, conversations, exchange. Something comes from the shadow and is illuminated for us to be transformed and empowered through it. Perhaps you are the one sharing the message that reveals something, or we receive information that shifts our perception and our awareness completely. This is powerful and it's part of the seed. And like any new moon, this is a seed moment, this embracing the darkness of the sun and the moon that invites us to attune with the intent of the universe so we can commit our energy to manifestation. To manifestation of what? When we're speaking of Aquarius, I would say of something innovative, original, disruptive, different, that speaks to freedom, to truth, to authenticity. So where is this happening for you? I mean, this place with the first degrees of Aquarius has such intense energy and like potential right now in a very refreshing and also revolutionary way. So it might require us to go past our comfort zones, yet it's very, very exciting because this is like the seed of the future in the sign of the future. So I would invite us to like give ourselves the time to truly connect with our vision. This is the time for the visionaries. And to listen to what the future is asking of you today so you can commit your heart to bringing this into fruition. This is the new year in the Chinese calendar because they work with the moon. So it's really the new year in the moon calendar. And it's a very exciting lunation. Okay, the ruler of Aquarius is Urano in Tauro, and the exciting news is that he's going to station direct the next day on the 30th, which tells us that his symbolism and energy is extremely powerful at the moment of this seed. We know that when a planet changes direction, his energy becomes really strong. He's very, very close to the earth. This is the god of change, the thunderbolt. So if you have been longing for a moment with everything available and blessed for you to change, to create, recreate, invent, and open yourself to new energy, this is really it. The other exquisite alignment is the sun and the moon are weaving a trine to Jupiter, retrograde on Gemini, 11th degree. And this is, Jupiter is the blessing. He expands. He amplifies the awareness and the consciousness of this seed. He is retrograde, and precisely because of that, I think there is a ripeness to this seed because Jupiter has already walked through these degrees before. So there's like an understanding, like having insights, like understanding through Jupiter as this spiritual mentor. What is that vision? Completing the perspective, the wide perspective of this vision of the future of this seed. So we can commit ourselves with being, I would say with Jupiter there, emissaries of truth. And this is something that Aquarius and Jupiter have in common, the love for truth, for freedom and expansion. So everything is there for us to take it and to turn it into a living prayer. I would ask you, what is exciting you? Where do you feel this potential? What is taking form in your inner vision? Because these are very strong pituitary gland activations as well, third eye activations. So it also requires listening to what is calling your frequency. This is really connecting us more and more with who we are in terms of how different and unique we are and how this is our contribution to the collective. So this new moon is really like drawing us into whatever is calling our energy now from the future itself. It is, of course, I would say, like the new era, the new paradigm's official beginning. This has been going on for a while, I know, but in a personal level, I think it might be a self-realization or a very deep insight about how you want to be a part of this. And Pluto is here transforming our mental realm, so breaking limitations, so we're giving birth to new ways of seeing reality and therefore creating it. It's very dynamic. And as we have a Aquarius stellium, we also have a Pisces stellium, which is also beautiful. We have Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and the North Node of evolution. It's an alliance from the place that is destiny calling us towards. It's like an alignment with our soul, with the highest purpose possible right now. So this seed also has this. It has service in it. It has humility, for something transcendental. Of course, it is created from your individuality and your creativity, especially that, but it is for the good of all, for the freedom and happiness of every being. This Piscean stellium is also like a very karmic door with the opening and the closure of relationships, of agreements, like karmic contracts, dreams, because it's really repositioning energy so we can be available to the freedom of creation. It is extremely inspiring. It's a lot of connection. It's really spiritual awakening all over this sky, inviting us to also commit to love, to forgiveness, to compassion, because for God's sake, we are all going through this and we don't really know in every little grand human story what this implies in terms of bravery, of pain, of longing, of saying goodbye, of opening up to new. So whenever I connect to this, I have nothing but reverence for the courage of being who we are and of choosing to be alive here and being the seeds of a new reality. I mean, respect and reverence for all of us. I actually think the combination of the Aquarian and the Piscean stellium allows, for example, like this very mystical ecstasy, like this rapture really, which is very Piscean, this mystical ecstasy, but with the objectivity of Aquarius. And this is very important, because I will insist throughout the whole year that it is so important with such big energy and so transpersonal energy to ground ourselves, to like really bring all of this, which is like very out there energy, into the realm of our bodies and of the earth and of embodying it, because otherwise we can just dissociate a lot again, and I think that's not the point. We chose to incarnate here. It is here that we are to fulfill our mission, and we are with her, with Mother Earth, changing frequency. So maybe instead of thinking it as much as an ascension, perhaps we can start thinking it as descending fully into our body so we can experience the beauty of being nature. Okay, so energy is going to start getting a lot of momentum now. Urano starts direct on the 30th, and then at the beginning of February, Jupiter stations direct as well, so he's very strong right now. And at the end of February, then Mars will station direct. So we are going to have like these very swift updates of our frequencies, ideals, values, and direction. Also say when Urano has movement, and these are his last really very strong movements in Tauro energy, there can be shakeups or shocking and surprises in terms of sometimes Mama Earth needs to shake with this kind of energy, and it also rules our electric system, our nervous system. So again, try to keep yourself grounded and in contact, in presence with the needs and the rhythm of your body. Remember, he works in a disruption of patterns that are limiting evolution for now. So he creates a discontinuity that awakens us in service of evolution. And at the same time, there's a lot of water with that Pisces energy. So it looks like some movements in the earth, inside and outside. We shall see. That is why I insist, I guess, in the invitation of grounding and going through it with trust and with equanimity. And lastly, I want to speak a little bit about Venus. She is there between Saturn and Neptune, and she's going to start her retrograde motion by the 1st of March. So it's not yet there, but from this week on, she's going to start walking the territory that she will go pass over for 3 times. So that's important because we can anticipate some movements in relationships, values, finances. I think at the end of Pisces, it's about dissolving, liberating, and at the beginning of Aries, where she's also going to be, it's about inspiring new dawns that we can't even see right now. The thing is, she's going to be 3 times going over this crack in the universe, the last degree of Pisces and the first degree of Aries. So it's so powerful what she's going to be there, and in conjunction with the North Node. So it seems quite predestined, I would say. And by this, I mean like our souls chose this precise time for this. This Pisces stellium is also an invitation to trust in divine timing, to surrender to it, to trust the wisdom, underlying intelligence of creation, and to do whatever is in our hands and then let go and let God. We have the freedom to choose moment by moment, and also make use of the most extraordinary human gift that we have, which is creativity. And this is so amplified and exalted right now that I truly hope we can enjoy the creative wave that we are getting. So we can choose wisely, which is that important place where we are going to put out the focus of our awareness and therefore our creation. I hope it comes from the joy of being who we are, and also the joy of sharing, collaborating, and growing together. Yeah, that's what I have, my beautiful family. I wish you a marvelous new moon in Aquarius. Blessings.